Hey guys, it's Roxanne from RoxanneLynch.com. Hey, how you guys doing today? I want to share some things that I don't think I've ever shared before, or maybe even so vulnerable or raw that I want to. But I think that, with the Bell Talk and with all of the different women that I'm seeing online talking about depression, of how real it is and how prevalent it is among our communities, I really thought that this was a great time to dig into a little bit more personal sharing about my own battles with depression. And as some of you guys are coming in, I know you guys know, some of you guys know some of my story. Some of you guys are new friends and might not know of my past battles with depression. When you guys see me online, I know probably so many of you would never even imagine, Roxanne would have ever battled with something so difficult as this. Let me know that, if you've been in the same boat as me, maybe, or even in the same river with battling depression or struggling with mental illness. And I think this is not a time where we should be shy of not being able to honestly and openly share what goes on within our world and the battles that we share, but then also how some of us got out, okay? And also knowing that when you have battled depression and you are a survivor, we're a lot more in tune with our bodies, and we know that if you've struggled from depression one time, you are more susceptible to struggle with it again. And knowing that they're saying that the depression is a reaction of basically our subconscious of being overwhelmed and in too much of a stress or situation. And you guys know that some of the stresses that I had when I left middle management within corporate in the fall of 2015, it took me like 6 to 8 months to actually make that decision. And so I've been in a depressed state, in a very stressed state for almost a year, if not more than a year. And it took me a long time to, first of all, grasp what was going on within my body, because I'm a very happy, bubbly, exuberant, excited, joyful woman. And so for me to have that complete turnaround and I didn't know what was wrong with me. I truly was baffled at some of the things that were going on within my body. And it was actually a family member that said, Roxanne, you need to go see a doctor. I think you're struggling from depression. Agreeing, like, no. I just thought this was something weird going on. I didn't understand that, the excessive hair loss that was happening, of when it was coming out in handfuls in the bathtub, of, gaining weight for no good reason. The last triggers, of course, was the adult acne, having the chest pains and the anxiety attacks where it felt someone was stabbing me in the chest with a knitting needle, and me sleeping. Oh my God. If I wasn't sleeping, I was thinking about sleeping. I was thinking about when I was going to get my next nap in. And you can ask my husband, I would sleep for like 10, 12, 13. One day it was 14 hours. And that's when he said, like, really, you need to find out what is wrong with you. And I didn't understand. I was so deep within myself. I didn't even understand what was really wrong, because this just seemed to be the new normal. Can you guys relate? Because, when things go so far sideways, we don't even know how it happened, or we can't pinpoint a day of when it happened. But I do know some things that I was able to address because of the encouragement, some of my friends, my family, and definitely within the community that I was plugged into at the time. So I want to share kind of like the steps that helped bring me forward, and maybe you guys can connect with that. Maybe you have a family member that has struggled from depression, and this will help, create that relatability and that connection. Because I'm thinking that the more women that understand, the more you can connect with that struggle, that then we can become that bridge. And I think that is the deepest connecting and the understanding that happens, is when we can totally put ourselves in that shoe, or at least being able to feel comfortable holding that woman or that man's hand, okay? That sometimes we are just that one extra person in their life that you can help provide those solutions for them. So the first idea that I want to share with you, that this come from a family member, is if someone has identified with you saying like, there's something might be wrong with you, if, like I said, if you're so far deep in that dark hole, we don't even know what's quite wrong or when it happened. The first thing is to go look for medical help. Okay. That was the first suggestion from a family member, is like, go get your blood levels checked, Roxanne. Maybe you're going through premenopause. Maybe your blood was out of whack. So go see your local doctor and go get your basic blood levels checked. Maybe something's hormonal. Maybe something else was out of whack. At that time, my doctor didn't put me on any medications, but he said, like, there's some things I'm going to encourage you to do, which is nurturing yourself. Like, if you're in a super overstressed job that was the trigger of your depression, Roxanne, you need to nurture yourself. You need to definitely mark it in your calendar, and don't give yourself the excuses of nurturing yourself, of whether that means, actually, nurturing yourself enough to get out of bed. For Roxanne, don't lay in bed for 12, 13 hours a day. Get out of bed, get dressed, wash your face, brush your teeth, and definitely exercise. I'm not saying you have to exercise and go get yourself super sweaty, but get outside and walk around the block, or go into the garage to your man cave and get on the treadmill, put on your 60s rock station or 80s rock, and walk. I'm not saying jog or work really hard because your body's already stressed, but move your body, get those happy endorphins released again. And that is part of nurturing and caring for ourselves. So that was the first one that my doctor had suggested. The other one, actually, I remember talking to my dad about this, and, was talking about doing the Girl Scout and the Good Boy Scout deeds. When you're feeling your worst, sometimes one of the easiest ways to help yourself upward is by helping another. And so I started looking for ways that I could contribute or converse with another human being, another woman who was also struggling with something, and finding a way that I could help them. So by helping them, I actually helped make myself feel better, even if it was for a moment. And it was actually one of the women within our networking marketing team at that time. She said, start a journal, Roxanne, and every time you help somebody, write it down. So you are proving to yourself that you are a woman of value. You are a woman of worth. So write down the little things that you do in your day that you make someone else feel better. So, that's another tip I wanted to share. The other ones that I want to share is like, sometimes you don't want to get out of bed and you don't want to do things, but so dwell upon your happy childhood memories. This was actually another one that my doctor had given me, and I'm going to get into the network marketing ones too. Don't you worry, I promise I'm going to share those with you. But think about your childhood. Think about objects or places that help us encourage to release emotions and energy and those good happy feelings. Maybe it was a family vacation. Maybe it was walking on the beach and looking for seashells. My windows are full of rocks. I don't know if you guys can see my rocks. I'm going to pan over to my windowsills. Can you guys see all my rocks? My windowsill, I'm actually sitting on the couch because I thought this is perfect, because this is my favorite place to be when I was struggling. Is I would go to the windowsills and I would actually pick up the rocks and I would hold them in my hand, and I would remember how much fun it was to go to the riverbed and look for something different on the beach, or a seashell or something that I could take home. And so my windows are full of rocks and seashells because they make me feel better. And up here in Canada, I've been outside 4 times shoveling snow today, and I need the sunshine. So I actually go to the sunshine and do some Cuddy, oh my gosh, I share this all the time. Cuddy videos. They're off of a TED Talk, and it's called Power Poses. I think it's Susan Cuddy is her name. And so, yeah, I would hold my rocks and I would make myself feel better. But the main thing to do with my MLM that actually really helped me battle my depression was this amazing, uplifting community. And, in all the ugliness and all the misery that was going on within myself and my world at that time, in all of that ugliness of depression that you're battling and you don't know how to fix it and you don't know how to work your way out of it, it was the community of consistent women and men that were uplifted. It was this community that, even if I was having a most miserable moment, I could find joy and celebration of somebody else. I mean, I still had that within me. So if someone else was winning, if someone else was succeeding, if someone ranked in their business, if someone made $100 where they'd never made $100 before, if someone sponsored a new woman within their team, it was those little sparks of excitement. Even though I couldn't imagine myself doing that at that moment. I couldn't imagine myself picking up the phone call, or even doing some basic Facebooking and connections. I couldn't imagine myself doing it, but I could imagine the joy, and I could feel their joy, even for a glimmer of a moment. I could feel their joy and excitement where they were succeeding and where they were happy. And that helped me bring that little bit of endorphin rush. And you know what? That got addictive. Okay, that little endorphin rush of joy and that bubble and that happiness of seeing someone else succeed got me excited just a little bit. So my mentors actually, they didn't even know they were doing it, but they did it. They didn't know what they were doing for me at that moment, but they gave us small, minuscule little tasks to do every day on Facebook. So I can't say thank you to Aaron and Jen enough. And even today, within our social marketing and our social retail businesses, they give us very small tasks. And I could do those small tasks while I was feeling that happy moment of those endorphins and those bubbles that gave me something to do, and I could do it, which was make 2 to 5 new friends a day, or go into a Facebook group and help another do that little good Girl Scout deed. I stopped beating myself up about everything that I couldn't do, and I would take these small little pockets of joy, and I would apply them into the small tasks that they were asking me to do, such as connect with another human being, make a new Facebook friend, and that's how it was part of the reasons why you guys are now seeing my daily affirmations in the morning. That gives me joy. I go and either recreate an old one, or I'll add on to it, or I'll find a brand new one, and then I get to make something joyful and good every morning. And that was part of the way that I led myself within this community of, our network marketing team that brought myself forward. And that's why you're always going to see my daily affirmations, unless I'm on holidays or I'm on the road with dad, or mom, or something to do with family or hospitals. You're going to see that, because that was one of those things that helped bring me forward, that I implemented into my life. It was one of those daily actions that helped release those happy endorphins again, that gave me those small little results. And so I was able to battle away that excessive stress by immersing myself into a community. And the right community, I think, is really helpful. And the right team that understands what's going on within our brain cells. That network marketing doesn't come naturally to us, or for some of us, but being a woman, being a caretaker, being a nurturer, being a cheerleader, being there, just being there for another human being, we can do that, okay? So that's what we can do. And if we put more of that into how we're building our businesses, and where we should be building relationships first, and friendships, I think that is what's most important for us, first of all. So those are some of the ideas I wanted to share out with you guys. Being attentive to the signs of depression, being attentive to what somehow becomes the new normal that isn't normal, such as excessive weight gain, such as, hair loss, such as adult acne, such as panic attacks, such as sleeping for 12, 13, 14 hours a day. If you're not sleeping, you're thinking about sleeping. Those aren't necessarily normal things, and they should become flags in our mind, within ourselves, and also within our friends and their family that we love so very much. Look for those abnormal patterns that start to show up, and those abnormal habits that weren't normal a month ago, and understand that excessive stress can be that kickstarter for depression. So pay attention to our stress levels, and there are things we can do about stress. And that's a whole nother conversation. I'm happy to be here for you, and I'm glad that this is good timing. So I just want to give you guys lots of love and light in the world. I'm going to go get my snowsuit on one more time and go back out to the shovel. Get some liquid sunshine in the form of snowflakes today. And I look forward to seeing you guys always on the sunny side of life. If you guys got some value, mash those emoticons. And definitely if you know of a friend or a loved one that needs some lifting, you know, sharing is caring. And that's what this is all about. And giving you guys lots of light and love today and always. Okay? You guys take care. Bye, guys.